How are we doing today? My name is Brady Diener, and I will be discussing with you the health-related fitness of students who are visually impaired. I was very curious when I found this article about what I would find, and it was pretty surprising. So what this article was about was measuring the health-related fitness of 46 students who are visually impaired to students who are not visually impaired, and kind of discussing the results. So they used 46 students, 26 female, 20 male, and what they called the fitness gram test. This fitness gram test was a series of 7 smaller tests consisting of mile run, push-ups, curl-ups, BMI, sit and reach, back extension, and shoulder stretch. I like this because it does cover several of the health-related components, such as cardiovascular health with mile run, muscular endurance with the push-ups, and finally flexibility with sit and reach. And I do want to make note, the cardiovascular health, it is the body's ability to transport oxygenated blood to your muscles and how efficiently you do so. Some of the numbers that did pop out of the paper to me, though, included only fewer than 20% of the students who are visually impaired passed 4 of the 7 standards, compared to 70% who are not visually impaired. Obviously, this is a huge jump in the data, and this poses the question, why? Maybe because this article was published in the 90s, fewer resources or lack of opportunity at this time. I don't know if it is solely responsible for this large jump in the data, but I do want to make note of it. Also, only 46 subjects, which is relatively small when performing a test like this. But as I said, I don't know if it has that much of a contribution to the overall scores. So back to the test. I do want to mention that for the mile run test, only 37% of the students who are visually impaired passed the test, compared to 77% who were not visually impaired. This is already a 40% fluctuation. Another big jump was with arm strength. Their arms, only 20% passed for the visually impaired, compared to 73%. So this is over 3 times as many. I do have some recommendations, though, for the students who are visually impaired. You can require them to get involved with early childhood movement programs. Obviously, the earlier you can get them involved with health-related components, health-related fitness, the more productive and better off that they are for their future. Also, teach them at an early age that they have just as much potential or capability as a student who does not have a visual impairment. Also, you can educate parents, vision professionals, or even teachers that if your student is visually impaired, that they are just as capable, as I mentioned. And finally, you can promote them as role models. They do have a lack of opportunity, so for a student to be able to compete and be able to meet all these standards, it speaks a lot about them. I do want to wrap it up, but the overall conclusion was that generally students who are visually impaired are not very health literate and physically active. But again, with those recommendations and maybe those skews in the data from the year and the test subjects, could provide some better results in the future. Thank you very much.